Boys, Deadside's 1.5 update is just around the corner. It is available on PC on the PTS servers for testing. We got a lot to cover, but before we do, make sure you like and subscribe the video to stay up to date with all the latest Deadside news, info, updates, and just content in general. Let's get into it, guys. So, public testing for version 1.5 has begun. This update comes with a few new features like barricades for your base and a ton of changes and fixes made according to community feedback. For example, fuel cans can now be stacked, torn items are automatically placed in your inventory, and explosives can no longer be stored in the safe zone. Let's go! This update also comes with a lot of rebalancing, with buffs to painkillers, med-X, storage shelves, and blowtorches, which can now be used to damage base structures. As always, public testing is very important, especially when it comes to game balance. So check out the patch notes, jump on the PTS server if you have the availability, and we will be paying close attention to your feedback. So first off, in the PTS changes, the rebalancing the loot drops and added muzzle brake drops to epic missions, hard missions, heli crashes, and buried caches as well. So epic missions now have a high drop chance for muzzle brakes for assault rifles and P900s, and a high drop chance for extended magazines for most assault rifles. Hard missions, high drop chance for muzzle brake or magazines for SMGs except for the P900. Heli crashes now have a probability of dropping muzzle brakes or magazines for SMGs except for the P900. Buried caches have a low chance of dropping a muzzle brake or magazine, a low chance of dropping an extended magazine for assault rifles, and a low chance of dropping muzzle brakes for assault rifles and P900s. Also, red welded crates in military bases have a 30% chance of spawning scopes as part of a new experiment, which I really like. This is really cool. Now there's another way for you to get out there and loot some scopes instead of just running convoys over and over. This is a great change. We got reduced debuffs for medication use. Med-X's are now -10 hydration and -10 food. Painkillers are only -10 hydration now. Tinctures have been buffed. Red tinctures are +20% run speed and +35% reload speed. Green are 35% max health, 20% healing effectiveness, and 6 regen per minute. And yellow are 200% breath hold duration, -25% recoil. So these are going to be pretty crazy. So if you actually grind the tinctures, these could be very beneficial for you. They weren't really as useful before, but with these buffs, they can be very meta now. Moving on to the good stuff. We got other features and changes, such as a new Scorpion model. It looks honestly pretty good from the little photo that I've seen and the little bit of a GIF that they posted. Could be cool. They added a new food item, mussels, which spawn in whatever, Barney? What? They added more junk piles in the game world for more loot spawns, added more welded crates to the new PvP map. Vehicles now spawn without fuel, which is kind of huge, honestly. You're gonna have to carry around some gas, but now gas cans no longer have multiple uses. They can be stacked up to 10. So this is also a pretty cool change. I was saying this for a long time, that it was weird that you had to carry around 16 cans of gas instead of just putting them together. Now you can put them together. Blowtorches now cause damage to base structures. I'm assuming this means locked boxes. I don't think you can stand with a blowtorch up against someone's wall and raid them, but if someone is locking a metal box, I think you have a way of breaking into them now with the blowtorches, which is really, really cool. Storage of explosives and its components in safe zones is now prohibited. This is an awesome change. It's going to make raiding feel so much more rewarding instead of raiding an empty shell of a house, because people keep all their valuables in the safe zone or they log off with it all in their backpack. So the only thing that's left is adding sleeping bodies or some way to prevent people from logging out with their best loot. And raiding is going to be amazing in this game. Make raiding great again. Adding sandbag barricades, or I should say re-adding sandbag barricades. We used to have them way back when in Deadside. They got removed. Now they're back. So that's cool. Added metal barricades with spikes. Sounds dangerous. Increased durability of crate shelves. Also, crafting has become more expensive. So a bit of a trade-off there. They're more durability, but they're also more expensive to craft. Knife and axe can now deal damage to crates. So my guess is the blowtorch is going to do damage to metal boxes, and your axe and your knife can do damage to the locked plank boxes. Great balancing. This is a good change. Duck trophy can now be placed on square and triangle ceilings. This is the change we've all been waiting for. Finally, they fixed Deadside. Components are automatically placed in inventory if an item is disassembled or torn by the G button. Yeah. System and admin messages will now be displayed in the hide pop-up messages setting in a skip. Improved reticle quality of scopes for low quality settings. Sweet. All right, on to the bug fixes. Fixed broken animation on jumping on the spot. So I'm assuming this means if you spam jump when you're not moving and your character just kind of does that like T-pose jump, that's fixed. Fixed lag in shooting after character consumes red tincture. Beautiful. Fixed landing animation after jumping from a low height. Fixed animation of jumping on the run with pistols and SMGs. So a lot of like animation fixes and jumping fixes, which is cool because I'm curious how this feels. I'm gonna jump into testing here right after this and I'll let you know. Added base blockers to mini bunkers. So mini bunker bases are being patched out. Someone just asked me this in my comments, so RIP your base. Fixed character regeneration calculation with all effects included. Quick maths. Fixed inability to complete difficult and epic missions in the bunker without destroying all the turrets. Fixed a bug that causes the PvE mark to remain in the main menu and above the character's corpse. Fixed a bug that caused the reservation of an admin slot on the server to not work in some cases. Fixed the bug that caused money not to be issued in a starter kit if there were no other items in it. Fixed the inability to set the server restart time to midnight in the server admin panel. Fixed sound of opening and closing the metal gates and shutters. Fixed sleeping bag timer not working when changing local PC time. Fixed false notification about raid availability when changing local time on the PC. Fixed bug causing a player to fall under the map and with missing death screen if the character dies during loading. Fixed an exploit using an assault ladder that allowed moving and building underwater. Fixed inability to climb a half wall if there is a ceiling above the character. That one's huge. I actually really like that because that's going to change base designs completely. Fixed a bug that caused turrets and tripwires not to appear in bunkers. Fixed a bug causing the possibility of opening a welded box with duct tape. Okay, we got a lot of stuff coming in 1.5, guys. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to be hopping on the test servers here shortly. I'll probably be streaming it. If you guys want to come hang out, I'll see you there. As always, like, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.